to see if you were there waiting for me, but you were not. So I sailed back with a broken heart. I waited till 3 to see if you would come looking for me, but you did not. So I fell asleep with a broken heart.
Hey, what's up? Gotta fix this framing, please, Don.
Yeah, here it is.
How's everybody doing out there in the
Coronaville.
Coronaville? This is Recovery Room. It is Monday, May 18th. I told you it was over, and I was right. 18th. A couple of more weeks, and we're in June, and it'll be over before you know it. It's just how the time. They say, oh, funny how time flies, huh? And that is exactly what happens. The time flies back. Anyway, if you are not yet a member of the Recovery Room family, please go on the Facebook and in your search and type in the Recovery Room, and a icon will come up with the little guy in the bed, and join us. And each day we kind of post a topic, and today's topic is addiction, not addiction, addition by subtraction. Curious. Anyway, I'm sorry, I went on a roll. We got
Minister Sean in the house.
And guess who's back? Christy's in the house. This is Recovery Room. We talk about all things addiction, and we know the reality is that it started out purely with our focus on the opioid addiction. It was a mission that came to me, wasn't something I was looking for, and somebody asked me one day about doing a radio show, and at that time I was directing a short film on addiction about a mother and 2 daughters, all of whom were addicted, and all of whom were prostituting themselves to support their habit. And I mean, and it was real kind of down and dirty and gritty, and then I started meeting a bunch of people who were already involved in the mission, like my good friend Lisa with Brandy Swish, and Jerry and Catherine Benacourt, and just a lot of other people that I met, and we kind of teamed up and realized that working together we can probably get a lot more done than each of us working as silos. And I'm sorry, Jerry's organization was no longer silent, and they're still out there banging, and you guys reach out and find and give them some support if you can. But we also found out that addiction is a family business. One of the things that we say more often than not is that the storm of addiction is not your own. It is a selfish disease, but it affects everybody in the family. Anyway, this is the Recovery Room. We just always come here just with a hope that we can reach out and touch somebody out there that needs touching. And if you're listening, Melissa Etheridge, our sincere condolences for the loss of your son. I don't know if you guys heard, but Melissa Etheridge, one of our real icons in the music industry, today, or no, last Wednesday,
It's been a few
lost
days.
her son to overdose. And I mean, and see, that's the thing. It doesn't matter. It has no respect for persons, your socioeconomic background, whether you're the star, son of a star, whatever the case might be. Eventually, if you keep dabbling, the outcome is just not good, one way or the other, whether it be jail institutions or finally death. I mean, we just had Christy last week announce that one of her friends had lost their battle to in this war. And so if you're out there right now and you're still active and you're struggling and that struggle is real, you know, all I want to say to you is that I can't tell you how it's gonna work for you, because nothing works for everybody. Everybody's got their own course. Everybody's got their own way that they deal with their addiction and subsequently their recovery. And how once you get into recovery, how you maintain it is something different for everybody. Some people go to meetings on a regular basis, daily, 3 times a day. Some people isolate. Some people go and volunteer. I don't know what your path is going to be and what your mission is going to be, but I can only say to you that it's doable. You can do it. It's not easy, but you're looking at a couple of people here that have done it. At least from an opioid standpoint, and so if we can do it, I believe so can you. So that's all I got to say about that.
That's absolutely true.
You know,
That's
it's
absolutely
and it's an amazing time right now with two medical. National medical emergencies going on at one time, and then when you hear of a celebrity's son dying, or just somebody that we don't even know, it reminds us is that, you know, everything is corona, but the reality is that this epidemic has been going on for years and years and years now, and it's just finally hit a point and a peak, and then now we're in a situation where to the last 2 months, people have been forced to isolate, you know, alone together. And, you know, an addict alone is in really bad company, you know. Excuse me, our best thoughts got us into the most trouble, you know. And so, you know, I'm just here hoping that as you're surfing the web and whatever it is you're doing, that you'll come across these 3 talking heads right here and just stop for a minute, because you want to see what can those wacky looking people be talking about. What could that mod squad be talking about? Remember I told you about the mod squad? Just Peggy, I'm Link, and that's Peter. That was the mod squad. Yeah, Peggy Lipton. Anyway, and so as I said, if you haven't joined the Recovery Room family yet, please do, because there's some really great posts on there. There's some heartfelt stuff. There's some real, you know, some gritty stuff. We try to keep it as positive as possible, and if you join, please do the same.
When
you know.
I think is that, and when you're home and you're isolated, and if you have the funds, you know, if you're a closet user, I mean, this is your prime time. You know, you don't have any interference with your people coming in and creeping in on your time. You know, your free time, you're game to go. You know, it's not like, okay, I got a couple hours, I'm good. You got all day. Nobody bothering you. You know, if you're a closet user, you're home all day. You don't have nothing to do. That's scary. That's a whole lot of idle time on your hands. That's scary time.
And overdoses have gone up as a result.
And this and even maybe you're still working, or then this check just coming in and you just got money, and it's scary, and it's proven through overdose rates that it's the balance and check-in point rates are not working out very well, unfortunately. So if you've got someone out there, call a friend. You know, some meetings were shut off for a while, and you know, things have gone down and not everybody's out and not everything's going, and check on somebody.
A friend of mine I talked to yesterday, she lost her husband to drinking. He passed away Cinco de Mayo, which is actually, that was their wedding anniversary. They had actually gotten divorced but still remained friends. And he died because he couldn't put his drink down. And unfortunately, it was a week later before they did a wellness check and went there, and he had passed away for a week before anybody even found him. And it's sad enough when somebody just passes, and all they had to do was just say no, put that drink down, you know. And
Yeah.
I know it sounds like, oh, Nancy Reagan said just say no. It's not that easy.
No, it's not at all. But it's what you got to say.
It's what you got to say, and
But I've also seen so many pass from saying no. I've had some of my people pass from detox seizures, or you know, detox seizures from either Xanax or alcohol or methadone or whatnot, or a combination of the three, in their sleep. Go. A ton of them. Because they were trying to just get right. And that's where it's like, where it comes, it's as hard to get clean or sober as it is.
I mean, you know, I'm 100% Irish. When I was like, when the doctor said, if you have one more drink, it's going to kill you. I said, oh, okay. It was like, to me, it was no big deal. And I didn't,
There's
you know.
some buzzing on the feet.
Okay.
No
I didn't,
audio.
I didn't detox or anything like that. And, you know, or didn't get the shakes or any of that stuff. But, you know,
Yeah.
I
Well,
just said, nope.
Yeah, well, you're one of the lucky ones, and that's the other thing. I mean, when you say that you had the ability to just say no, there's some people that can do that.
Right.
You know.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
I
there's some
couldn't.
people that can. There's some people that need to go to rehab 10 times before they actually get it, or never do. You know, I mean, the numbers are just staggering for relapse. I mean, 91% of the people relapse within the first year of their recovery, most within the first 30 days, most within the first 3 days. And it's a horrible rate. You know, 9% of the people, only 9% of the people actually make it in recovery over a year. I mean, it's astonishing, and you know, it's something that's got to be addressed. I mean, we should have shut down some streets and shut down some stuff when this was going on, so that, you know, maybe we could have got a you know, more
Better handle.
be a better handle on it, you know, so that people couldn't run around and the dope dealers couldn't run around. I mean, I think that tomorrow our topic is going to be the dope boy.
The dope boy.
Tomorrow we want to do the dope boy.
Not the Pillsbury dope boy.
No, not the Pillsbury dope boy, but the dope boy. Because, you know, the reality of the situation is that the dope boy is out there living in the same world in which we live in. You know, we talked a lot about existentialism last week when we were talking about creating your own reality within the bigger and broader reality. Well, that's what that dope boy is doing out there too. And this is not about any kind of sympathy or anything like that. This is about the reality of the situation. Is that we tend to choose our life. You know, at some point or another, based on circumstances or whatever, that dope boy decided that he was going to risk his life and go out there every day to support his family in this particular method, you know, which has pretty much the same three options. You know, it's either institutions or death. You know, very few just quit that I know of. I mean, I've got lucky, you know, but very few just quit.
I mean, I guess when you're looking across that cell window, it's kind of like you're in there for using, you're in there for selling.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the
you're
same-
both.
it's the same beast.
You're kind of both in there for the same.
Yeah, yeah. About the same
Yeah,
substance.
you were passing off the same thing. It was just you were using it or doing it, you know, in a different way.
And then most dope dealers are dealing to support their own habits.
And so in a sense, you kind of. You know,
So
if
it's
you've
an
got
interesting world.
rigs on you to sell, it's kind of because you've got them because you're using them too.
Right. Right. So, addition by subtraction. What does that mean? It means that what they talk about in people, places, and things. You know, at some point you've got to subtract some people. You've got to get rid of some people. You've got to get rid of some places and some things that you were doing and replace them. Add to your life. Subtract the negative stuff and add some good stuff. I mean, and that's just, I mean, as simplistic as it sounds, the most important things in this life are the simple things. You know, it's not complicated. It doesn't take a whole bunch of brain surgery and a whole bunch of everything. You've got to replace some habits. You've got to replace some people. You've got to replace some places that you've been. You can't do that same thing expecting different results. That is the biggest definition of insanity.
Yeah.
You know?
The life I have today looks a lot different than the life I had before recovery. It didn't happen overnight. It happened one day at a time. So it's one day at a time.
It is.
It's simple. It
Yeah.
wasn't drastic.
Well, the decision's got to be made first. I mean, if there's
Right.
nothing more important than that day in your life where the decision was made, because one decision can change the whole course of your life. You know, there's a quote, and we'll get it up. We're trying to figure out how to get it up, but there's a quote that talks about. Let me see if I can find it real quickly. Hold on.
I like this. You attract what you are strongly feeling and thinking, and this is why a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles.
Amen.
Like that.
But there's this quote that says, imagine how incredible you'd be 1 year from now if you stop fantasizing about a better life and start actively building one. You see, as an existentialist, and I want to build a whole bunch of existentialists out here, just because it feels like it's that right time. Because this is the time for thinking. This is the time for recognizing and understanding that we are all in a human experience, and all of our human experiences are completely different. And the decisions that we make in the course of this life are the decisions that get us to where we are. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So you can't blame your mama. You can't blame the system, you know, the government. You know, all you can do is look yourself squarely in the eye in the mirror and say, listen, I got here based on my decisions, not on the outside world, based on my decisions. That's a tough call. That's a tough call.
Nobody held you down and poured that bottle down your throat.
No.
Nobody strapped you
Like
to a
this.
chair, putting that needle in your arm.
The black sheep looks the happiest, probably because he thinks for himself. You
Well, it's going to be about the black.
Why is it the black sheep?
But you
Black magic,
you
Black
was the
Friday.
one. You was the one. You always want to call you out as you was the one. Okay, yep. Look you in the mirror, and I was the one. Yep, that was me. Hello.
Decisions that were made, or the decisions that you've made, are decisions that have got you where you are.
And I was the cutest one out of the bunch. Damn it, anyways.
That's the other show.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you know, let's get real. And so today you can make a decision that down the road would have your life being completely different space, in a completely different world. I mean, if you would look on the Recovery Room page, I posted a couple more today because those are my favorite posts when somebody is celebrating their recovery of a year or two, and you know, and they're there and they're with their kids and all that, and so that is what's possible. That's the glory of it all. That's the best part of it all, is that you can see yourself then, and then 6 months from now, a year from now, if you would just make that decision today and then stick to it every day, then your life will be a completely different place.
Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do.
Hello. Is that the cowbell?
At the cowbell.
So in the news.
It's like every day now we're losing a celebrity.
Yeah, who got this?
Well, you're asking me with the memory issues.
Yeah. I missed somebody.
Well, Ben Stiller, his father passed away.
Yeah.
And then there was another one today. It was somebody from the Leave It to Beaver show.
Oh.
Passed away.
Well, those guys are pretty old by now.
Yeah, but it's like I know the older you get, you know, it's either gonna be you pass away or you know, somebody else. And I'm actually hearing them passing away, not from the coronavirus.
No, but they blaming it on
No, they weren't. These ones.
It's
Yeah.
always getting the blame. You know that. And of course that's in the news. Today they said that the president has been regularly taking that oxychloroquine, or whatever that they were promoting out there. And so, and then people saying it seemed like an infomercial, and you know, maybe it was. Doesn't matter. But you know, we're back in business, kinda. You know, restaurants are opening and being able to serve at 50% capacity, which, you know, at the end of the day, as a business owner, doesn't make any sense.
No, because they really need to have
No.
about 65% occupancy to break even.
Right, even to break even.
Right.
You know, so none of this is making any sense. And so when we start talking about the existentialist lifestyle, this is the biggest sign of it that there could ever be, because at some point, and right now is when you got to make that decision. That there's so many people that are torn. I mean, we were told to stay home together alone, stay home, and then all of a sudden with the economy, it wasn't a medical decision that's made people open up. It's a business decision. Okay, and so now you got people who are happy to have the opportunity to open back up, but then are leery though, because, you know, first of all, you're only operating at 50% capacity, whatever, so it's just going to be open, and then you're exposing people, and then people are being more exposed. And what the scariest thing for me about this whole thing, and we talked about it a month ago, is that they're going to allow us to go back and get in the, I mean, I saw people on the beach, and everybody's just hanging out and hugging and loving and loving, and, you know, I saw some people at the bar, and everybody was sipping and having a good old time. And now what's going to happen is there's going to be a major increase in the cases, and then we're going to be forced to shut down again, but even tighter this next time. So I don't know if this is the best idea, but as I said, as an existentialist and living in this life right now, you are forced to make your decision as to whether or not you're going back out or not. You have the ability to make that decision on whether or not you're going back out into the world. And that decision is going to affect everything around you. It's really as simple as that. So, you know, I suggest that you make decisions now that are based solely on your health and the health of your family, and you know, I mean, yes, we got to eat, but you know, somehow that's going to be taken care of. You can't worry about it. If you're dead, you don't have to worry about it. You know, and then you got to worry about your kids, and then that's the other thing that's kind of all wacky to me. It's like schools are closed indefinitely. Who knows when the school's going to open? But how are parents going to go back to work when the kids are still at home? I mean, are these kids going to be raising themselves at this generation? I mean, it's an amazing dichotomy of things happening all at one time.
Well, and the funny thing is there were so many parents going, "Oh, that teacher was a bad teacher. My child is perfect." Blah blah.
Yeah,
Well, you're the teacher now. How's your child?
right. Just like you.
Remember that saying when you're growing up? Your kid's gonna be 10 times worse than you. You're like, and you're like, son of a biscuit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, whenever they do open the schools back up again, guys out there, remember those school teachers, they have to buy their supplies out of their own pocket.
Right.
So, when school does open back up, bring them a box of pencils and or whatever.
Yeah. Do
You know,
something
crayon,
nice.
anything.
Do something nice.
I brought in cases of bottled water one time, and they were like, "Sean, that's awesome," because now the kids weren't having to stop the classroom and run out and go get water if they were thirsty, And you can go to the Dollar Tree and get it for freaking $1 or less.
Yeah. And that is a lesson to be learned here. This is the one sure sign that this is about us caring about each other. It's about us taking care of one another. I mean, the government kicked in, and a whole bunch of people did get their stimulus check. But you know what? There's a whole half of the people that did not. Me being one of them.
Well, you didn't read the little fine print.
I didn't read the fine print. I had to read. I finally read it today. And Don, you were right. But you were right. You were right about one part, and the other part just made sense. But at any rate, we got to take care of each other. And our friend Zach here came over yesterday, and was talking about a situation that really made it clear to me. This is where we're at, and this is the world in which we live. Forget about what people are saying. So there's this older Jamaican lady, I'm assuming she's Jamaican, when we started talking about making oxtails and so forth and so on. But her husband worked with Zach
for 15 years
and years, and so they became a family, and that's the reality of this situation. It doesn't matter if you're black or white or any of that kind of stuff. People become your family. You love them, you care about them, and apparently this woman, her landlord was trying to evict her. And a lot of the guys from white and whatever else, redneck, whatever you want to call it, a lot of them came to her rescue, and whether it be with money and or force, saying to this landlord, no, she's not going to be kicked out. And I mean, for me, it's so contrary to what the people are putting out there about race and relationships and how we treat each other. The majority of the people I know are kind, caring people that love everybody. And it doesn't matter whether they're Republicans, or it doesn't matter whether they're Democrats, or it doesn't matter whether they're gay or straight or any of that stuff. At the end of the day, we're here and we're in this human experience, and at some point we are going to need to get together, create these kindness communities, and come together more than ever before.
And when Zach stopped by, he does owe me a couple of dollars, and he's like, "Listen, I had to give the money to Miss Kitty." I'm like, "Dude, that's fine." I said, "Go," and she makes the best oxtail soup. She made us 3 gallons once, and Zach goes, "Don't eat all of it," and he came back home. I sat down and I ate 3 gallons of oxtail soup. Oh my God, it was delicious.
Yeah, some good stuff. It's an acquired taste, as I said, but these guys say,
I acquired everything. I'm getting the bread out of them.
I'm acquiring as much as I can.
Exactly. That was like 6 years ago, and he's still upset about that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the story. That story was a story that was pertinent to what's going on right now, because obviously nobody wants to be on the street and wants to see anybody in the street, but certainly during this time when there's no place to go. Corona has shut down a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of options. But at the end of the day, that coming together, that support, that reaching out and reaching across the races and the ages. Because she's an older woman. On top of that, these are younger guys. You know what I mean? And so it was a big deal to me. It was a big deal to me, and it's happening everywhere. It's happening all over the place. And so, as I said, forget about what the people are talking about, man. Forget about all the hate mongering and all that. And the biggest part of our human race here, of our society here, are really cool people that are trying to help other people. You know, and listen. And today, guess what? I remembered to forward the phone.
Yay!
Yeah, I didn't believe him. I said, "Now who called?" He's like, "I remembered." He said, all of a sudden it was like, plop.
Yeah, in my head.
The
Forward
phone's
the phone.
ringing and ringing and
And
ringing
so
as we're
the
trying
phone
to
has been forwarded. The number to call is 941-201-5226. That's 941-201-5226. And that is our hotline. That is a number that you can call at any time. But while we're here and there's something that we say that you agree with or disagree with, there's something on your mind that you'd like to share with our listening audience, and that's the number to call. And it'll come straight through here to here, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about whatever it is that's on your mind, you know, because I mean people got a lot of time to think these days, you know. I mean, you know, I go to the store every now and then, and you end up having long conversations with strangers just because people just been hemmed up and need to talk.
They need that connection to talk to.
Yeah.
You know, they've been talking to themselves, but watching the TV, and like I joke and say, "Oh, I finally finished Netflix. I watched everything on it."
Everything on it.
You know,
Man.
it's like,
Man, I've seen some bad movies, and as a filmmaker, I'm like, how in the hell did they get money to make that?
I've been watching all the old Japanese ones where like Godzilla meets
Oh,
Mothra
wow.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, okay.
yeah. And the reason I come up with the Dope Boy conversation because I've watched 5 different Dope Boy movies, and it's the same story over and over. Some kids get together, somebody gives them some drugs, they make a whole bunch
Somebody
of money,
gets shot on
and then
the
somebody gets
corner.
shot, and then one manages to escape and ride off into the sunset
Somebody's mama's
with
just
somebody's
so sad.
sister's
Well,
daughter.
it sounds like Tokyo Drift that I watched last night.
It's the
Same
same
different
thing,
day.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are we responding to any comments today?
Yes, I am on right now here.
Chrissy is here specifically to respond to your comments.
Hi, Ron. I'm
Bueller.
happy to be of service to
Bueller.
you.
Yeah. Wait for it.
For those of you that are going back out into society and going to restaurants, remember those poor servers and bartenders, they work for tips. Like they're when they get their paycheck, it's like maybe $20, $25, $28, something like that, for working like a 50-hour work week.
Yeah,
So
that's
they rely entirely on what you guys throw on the table.
Tips,
And
they call it tips. What does
to
tips
ensure
mean?
proper service.
There you go.
And
You want to ensure proper service, tip more.
for those of you that don't know, so if you tip, no matter what happens on that bill, that server has to pay 8% of that in taxes. So for those of you out there, just throw $1 down on whatever else, that's taking the money away from that person. That person now has to go hustle twice as hard, like a dope boy, just to make that extra money to try to break even, you know. So just think about when you're out there. Think about, would you want to be schlepping that tray of food around, whatever else, you know, being, oh, can I get this, can I get that, and then
Yeah, can I
for
get-
for $1,
Yeah.
you know. So just think about that when you guys are out there.
And the hospitality industry is just one of the hardest hit of all. And these guys have been out of work for a while, and I guess to go back now, it's going to be great. But then you've got that thought process you got to deal with. Well, okay, am I going back here to make just a little bit of money, but then I get sick? You know, if they're working at half capacity, you know, then they're making half the money. I would.
Well, the average restaurant makes 10 cents or less per dollar after they pay their staff, utility bills, rent, everything else.
Yeah.
So they
Okay,
really
all
got to bring some dollars in just to break even. That's why it's the most failed industry in the United States.
Right. I've had 2. I'm never doing it again. Never. I don't know why I did it the second time. I guess
Because you're like, oh, let me try this again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope.
Somebody wanted to do it. Anyway, so yeah, and you know, and it's unfortunate, but a big, huge part of the hospitality industry are my fellow addicts. You know, and I've wondered over the last couple of months how they're supporting their habits, because more often than not, those tips, the same tips we're talking about, are the ones that are supporting some habits as well. And right now, if you're out there and you're active, and God, I really pray for you, because everything out there is garbage. It's tainted. We were just having that conversation. You know, everybody kind of know, not everybody, but a lot of people know what goes into the making of meth. Everything. You throw a little bit of everything. You throw that boot in there, and swish it around a little bit. Get some of that road dirt in the meth. Some battery acid, some matchsticks. What else? Some what kind of solvent? Some solvent that they use. But this is what they're making.
Antifreeze.
Antifreeze. And you are going to take that and inject it into your body.
Yes.
That's the poison. And the shaman. I got the perfect thing for you too. Hold on, I gotta find this one, but this one's perfect. Back. I had it right here.
Oh, while you're looking for that.
Yeah.
Today I went out and a friend of mine who's a school teacher, also a massage therapist, with the school being shut. Luckily she had something to fall back on. I highly recommend. I didn't realize how much stress, how much pain I was in until I went and had a really great massage. I didn't sleep at all last night because I was in so much pain because whenever the weather changes with the rain coming in. But I highly recommend doing that.
Okay. And if we can promote her at some point, if she don't, we'll feel free to do it. If we got her information, we can help her business, and that's what we got to do, guys. We are all here to help one another. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Well, that's why Zach stopped by yesterday. Was the neighbor's tree fell down blocking the road?
Right, it was a huge tree.
Huge oak tree.
Glad it fell that way, because it would have been dangerous.
It would have cut their house in half. But he came by to borrow two of my chainsaws and that was a neighbor helping a neighbor out, helping a neighbor out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what it's supposed to be. There are a couple of places in the world where that is the rule, that you must help your neighbor. You have to. It's not even a question. You have to help your neighbor, because at some point or another you're going to need help.
No, you'll be late for work. Like my dad would come out, he'd be, hold up, what can I do? Stop, hold up, let me get my stuff. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's what you do. It's
in the back of my truck. I always carry a full tool set. I always carry a case of water in case someone's broken down to the side of the road, and I always keep bags of chips in there.
Except for that one day. Fortunately, he did.
I wasn't in my truck.
Fortunately, he did have a can of one of those little 2 or 3 of those little cans.
I had donated to the kids.
That you had donated to the kids. I wish you had a truck full of water and stuff that day. That would have been nice.
Sorry.
But actually, he does, except for that day. But
Just like if you see someone broken down, I'm the person who would pull over and help them out and give them some waters and bags of chips.
And you know what? We're all going to break down, and that's why I help, because I believe in karma. I believe that what goes around comes around. So if somebody's broken down, I'm going to stop and help them, because there's been so many times. And I'm telling you, in some really ridiculous, like this is just not going to work. Somehow the help came along in a dark, desolate, deserted place. You know what I mean? And so that's because that karma is coming back around to you. And I believe in that. And as an existentialist, and we live in this existential lifestyle, that is one of the things that I recommend wholeheartedly. Do good things for people, because the karma will come back to you.
And it's one of those times where you go, son of a gun, I'm going to get eaten by a bear.
Oh, it'd be like that lady in Georgia who got all drunk and high. They're going to put the alligator.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
That didn't work
that
out so
wasn't-
good.
Listen, a shaman was asked, what is poison? meth, but that's another story. Anything beyond what we need is poison. It can be power, laziness, food, ego, ambition, vanity, fear, anger, or whatever. If it's beyond what we need, and that's a big poison in our world. You know, you got some people, you got in the world that we live in right now, and then here's another conversation, but in the world that we live in prior to the corona, and still more so than not, 1% of this population controls 95% of the entire wealth of the country. And so this particular coronavirus, which we have called it's been called a pandemic, but we know that it's a panacea because it is affecting each and everything that has ever happened before in the history of the world. This becomes the biggest shift in wealth in the history of the world, because when you go and you give everybody some money, that's a shift in wealth, because some of those people would never have seen $1,200 at one time in their entire life.
And you know what? All those people going, Trump's not my president. I haven't seen one damn story where someone said, I gave the money back.
No.
I also haven't read one story where someone said, you know, I don't need it. Let me go and buy some food and go give it to a church.
Yeah. And I know some people that have done that, and God bless them.
I do, yeah.
You know,
I do
I
too.
know some people that have done that, and God bless them. And so, you know, at the end of the day, though, guys, it's really about just one thing. And if nobody's told you about it today, you know, let's tell you, it's about love, and we love you.
We love you guys.
And that's the key element. That is the one thing that has to be brought to the forefront in this world, the absence of love. You got so many kids that are starving for love. You got so many kids that are starving for some type of attention. You know, you got so many adults. I mean, you got so many people that are starving for love, and it's free. And I got to tell you, when you give it, it feels real good, you know. And when you get it back, it feels real good, you know. And it's a simple thing to do. And so I'm encouraging you guys, just write it on the wall so you can see it every day, and write it on your mirror. Love, 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 love. Love, love, love. That's what's going to happen. That's what is happening, and that's what's going to make this thing all worth it. When we come back out of this, and our relationships are better than they've ever been before, because we realize that, man, my wheels were spinning so fast. I was running and ripping and running up and down the street, and I was not even ever prepared to think that this was going to happen, that I would be locked in a house with you for 3 months.
You know what? And speaking of that, I'm surprised with the murder rate hasn't gone up.
Yeah, in our house.
And it could be as simple as your housemates, or even just a kind wave to your neighbor. Or
Meet your neighbor.
I was seeing today of even if it's a low rate of, they were talking maybe 50 of the babies, of the surrogate babies, excuse me, overseas, that the surrogate parents can't get, that are just sitting in these bassinets, just lying the walls, just crying. But their parents can't get them. That there's just all these babies, just parents just waiting to get their babies. They're just sitting there, just waiting. Somebody's waiting on somebody. It's affecting everybody. Somebody's waiting on somebody.
Well, it's like when I got sick, you know, I made a bucket list. And one thing, I've never been married, so I kind of put it out there, and everyone was like, "Why in the bleep would you want to do that?" I'm like, I don't know, I've never been married before. They go, "You've also never been on a spaceship, gone to outer space." I'm like,
Sure I have.
Okay. Yeah, it did in my mind when I was out there cookering and Cocoa Puffs and the meds being wrong and stuff. But
And you probably took Wonky with you too.
Hey, listen,
Let's
this
try
thing
that
says,
one first.
if you want to heal, then you have to make peace with your broken pieces. You know, and that's another one of those real simple, clear ones, but just make complete sense. And I would be remiss in my duties if I did not want to recognize our sponsors sometimes here in the next couple of minutes before we run out of time. And guys, I have been remiss in my duties in responding. I will tonight, because I got nothing else to do tonight. I will be responding to your comments on the page. But right now, I'd like to recognize our sponsors. The Recovery Room is brought to you by.
Spice up your next event with the Hammock Haven Experience. To find out more, go to thehammockhaven.com or call 941-201-5226. The Hammock Haven. Chillax a minute.
421 Sweet Treats is Anna Maria Island's sweetest little five-star cafe, located at 5337 Gulf Drive on beautiful Holmes Beach. For reservations, please call 941-281-2335. Life is sweet and full of treats.
POWarriors.com, the website that's dedicated to connecting our armed forces and first responders to businesses that appreciate their valor. For more information, go to POWarriors.com or call 336-501-0017. PO Warriors, protecting our warriors that protect us. Hey.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, we are here at the fantastic, wonderful Oniko Farmers Market. It's going to be one of a landmark destination place here in beautiful Bradenton, Manatee County, Florida.
And
Love that.
actually, while it's on my mind, what do you guys do for the when they show the movies outside on Wednesday and Saturday? What do you guys do if it's raining?
I think it's Don. Do you have an answer to that? I think it's rained out. Oh, well, the stuff is in a a booth.
Yeah.
The people in a car. We haven't had that problem yet.
I
Okay.
haven't had the problem.
Okay.
I mean, technically, we can still show
And it's
movies.
coming through the radio, so
Right.
So you can stay in your car with the
So
radio.
you can stay in the car, thing on, and myself, I went down to the
things might be
to a Dollar General
possible.
and I got chips and popcorn and
Yes,
everything else, and I was
yeah.
sitting in there like I was at the movie.
Having a good old, and listen, it's something to do. Everybody's been cooped up in the house forever and ever. Even around the globe, even not just around the country, around the globe, drive-ins are making a huge comeback based on a family event, something to do with your family. Get out the house, still be within the distancing guidelines, and get out and have some fun and watch a movie. We will be posting. You can find out what movie is playing, and again, it is Wednesday nights and Saturday nights. Those we're playing a family style movie both nights, and it starts at 8:30. Okay, and so that's just to get enough time to get the sun to go down. And it's just good fun, and so we've been kind of responsible for putting that all together, and really proud of the results actually. And so we got a drive-in.
For those
I always
parents
call it the
out there,
drive-through.
There's actually an ice cream place here, so you can bring the kids
Yeah.
to the ice cream,
Yeah, ice
and
cream.
the movie. You
Yeah.
don't be quiet and watch the movie. You get no ice cream. Do that
There's a
thing.
Chinese place right there.
There's a Chinese place with
Man, get
good
some chicken wings.
Checkers
Subways
right there.
in here.
Yeah, and like you said, the Dollar General down there, and that's part of the whole thing. This is a community kind of event, that everybody gets some additional business, additional exposure, and so forth and so on. And so, and again, this is one of the things about being an existentialist, and especially in a time like the corona. This is the time when you may go back and not have that same job anymore. So you might be trying to figure out something new and different to do. And maybe this is that time that you can pick up and dust off that project that you had, that you put on the back burner, that's gathering dust, that could be a well-received kind of thing right now, like a drive-in. Who'd have known that this was going to happen and the drive-in was going to be a
And
big deal.
speaking of the companies being closed, like a friend of mine is a musician doing like the podcast thing, doing the live stuff, and he needed new drum heads. He's like, where can I go? Sam Ash is closed, yours closed. Actually, in this plaza, there's a music store, What's the name? What was the name of that one?
Merry-go,
Yeah.
music go round.
I still haven't been inside there yet, but they got drum sets all inside there in the window and
And
stuff.
I think they do consignments.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
They
those
could do
musicians, because I know
consignment.
Sam Ash was closed till whenever, but
Yeah.
you know, tell them you heard about them from the show.
Yeah,
Well, now I know.
no, it's an awesome deal, and you know when this market opens up, it's going to be an open air, a farmers market, but also with lots of other vendors, and there'll be like 4 or 5 different food specialties in here. Good friends of ours will be moving in. They'll have their food here, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. And that's another good thing. You know, it's fun when you get involved in something and you can share it with your friends, and everybody can find some way to get involved and maybe change their location and I don't know, lives. Because believe it or not, the rent in this place is absolutely unbelievably affordable. And so when you got a small business
awesome
and you're
spot.
struggling, rent is always one of the biggest problems. Like Sean said, that dollar is broken down into 8, 9 different things, and rent is always one of those big problems. So this place has afforded small businesses the opportunity to come in at a really low rate and then build their business up and build it up with a built-in clientele. I mean, you're gonna have people here that are just in here shopping and will happen upon your place and then find that it's one of your favorite spots after a while, and it's a beautiful thing, and so we're just happy to be a part of it. That's the Onikos Farmers Market. If you want to know about the movie, go to Facebook and check out the Onikos Farmers Market's Facebook page, and they'll have the information, and if they don't, then we'll be calling them and make sure they put it on there.
And then we're going to be doing broadcasting while they're
Oh man,
doing the stuff. So
yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be like a live reality show. You know what I mean? No, I mean, because Brian is really cool, and during the course of all of this, I mean, just to have to interact with all these different vendors, it's going to be gotta be some comical, crazy
it's gonna come
stuff.
to life like
Yeah.
insanity.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very soon. It's gonna be very cool. Very
Yeah, so
cool.
we're looking forward to that, and and it's really weird because they're already talking about doing one on the West Coast. I mean, on the East Coast.
where's that? Wait, what?
Franchise.
Yeah, franchise on the East Coast. Okay, I don't know if this was 628 that said it was still buzzing, and can I see the comments? And no, I can't see the comments, but Christy can if she's looking at them.
From Judy.
Yeah, she just asked, can you see the comments? I don't know if it was from hers or what. But at any rate, but thank you for commenting. And as I said, if it's something that I miss, I will make sure that I comment on it. I've been on a little bit of a Facebook hiatus. I take those every now and then because you kind of have to, because otherwise it becomes like a full-time job. Answering stuff and posting stuff, and, so the reality is tonight I'm feeling up to getting on there and going back and answering and thanking some people. So once again, if keep the Oniko Farmers Market on your calendar. They're looking at an opening date here real soon. Don't know exactly what that opening date is yet, but when it does, you guys will be the first to know. There will be live fresh produce, bread, you name it, nuts to butts.
That's the buzz.
No, that's not what I meant.
What?
That's not what I meant.
That is definitely the other show.
Trees to meats.
Yeah, trees to me.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, everything from nuts. Well, I didn't mean butts. It's something nuts. Candy to nuts.
Well,
Yeah.
what was that cider that they had come up when I was growing up? It was the Dickens cider.
Ooh.
Dickens cider.
Ooh. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey guys.
That is the other show.
And that came out of Minister
We
Sean's
love
mouth.
you.
Yeah, the minister said that. So
It's
we got
been a
about
long
we got
day.
about 5 minutes left. You got any more quotes? You got some news you want to share?
Oh, Lord.
One thing
I
about
thought we were.
with everybody out there driving on the road, not only just be careful looking out for motorcycles, whatever else, they and the FHP they put a minimum. They have to write 2 tickets per hour minimum. Yeah, it actually was. It's all over the news in Florida. They announced that last, I think, Thursday, and they said they're not going to give that anymore because there's no money because they weren't generating the revenue from not writing tickets.
Right.
So they're not going to be even. No one's even be eligible for a raise in any of the FHP thing until they start generating revenue. So don't be freaking out there going 90 miles an hour, you know, or go ahead do it. Give them some money.
That's right.
You know?
That's your idea of a good time.
But be out there, be careful driving. It's like everyone kind of forgot when they had that little hiatus from being locked up in their house how to drive.
Yeah.
Don't be texting on your phone. I saw 4 cars today texting. And I've been rear-ended 8 different times riding my motorcycle. And I drive a big truck now. One part of me wants to just ram that freaking car. Be like, oops, I don't know.
You're a minister.
Yeah. God said smack. All right? You know? Put your phones down. If that phone call's not worth someone's life.
No, it's not. That text.
You know? If that phone call was so important, you go stand in front of my car. Let me text and drive over you.
Yeah.
Oh, not too important anymore, is it?
Okay, so
Yeah.
and guys, we're all always looking for your help as well. I just got a text from somebody that's asking me about somebody else that I know of what kind of program that is for alcohol that they can get in. So if you guys got some suggestions, obviously we have our own suggestions. I'll be giving them to them. But if you guys got any suggestions or for something that you know right now because of Corona or whatever, that is a program that's available to somebody that's struggling with alcohol, please text us that information. You can put it on the recovery room page, or you can put it. You obviously right now are on my Facebook page, and so you know how to reach me there, messenger me or whatever. But that's what this is about. It's about people helping people, and the guy that's being that they're asking me about is somebody that I know personally. That's really a good person that struggling. An artist that couldn't get any work and home alone and blah blah blah, that scenario. And so we've got to really stay on top of our games here, guys. We got to help where it's needed. Some grandmama over there across on the other side of the country is praying for their grandbaby or their daughter or whoever, and those prayers have to be answered, and the only way the prayers are answered are through people. God works through people, and so does the devil for that matter. But when you are blessed to be a blessing, just do it. Just do it. I mean, I got to tell you, I was thinking today or yesterday, whenever it was.
Well, I was thinking both days.
Yeah, I was thinking. about this particular subject. Yeah, hopefully I was thinking both days. But you know how that goes. Some days you check out. But no, I was thinking about Sean and him. Out of everybody else on the planet, that on one level that I would ever think would be an ordained minister would not be him. But then on the other hand, because he's one of the more generous and kind people that I know, then it just kind of makes sense. And so you don't know, and this is what we're talking about when we're saying where you are right now is not where you're going to be. You didn't come this far in your life just to be there, right? You came this far to be able to see a little bit further, and you came this far to be able to make a decision like that is life changing. But if you make the decision, and then the outcome will take care of itself. Just make a decision, guys, that today is going to be the day that you change your life. I'm not saying that there's going to be the day that you stop using altogether, because it may not be. It took me 3, 4, 5, 6 attempts, whatever the number is. But today, make the decision, though, because that brain of yours will start telling you what to do.
And guess what? You have a problem, okay?
Yeah, you do.
You're like, oh, I have a problem. I'm going to work. Yeah. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Pam,
no.
You have a problem.
You can be a functioning a whole lot of everything, but eventually that functioning will run out.
Go to if you're drinking your thing, go to a AA meeting and just sit back and listen to what everyone else is saying. You don't have to stand up and speak whatever else. And you're going to hear a story, then you hear another story, and then you go, well, that sounds a lot like my story. Then you hear another story. It sounds a lot like your story again. So they're going through the same struggles that you are, and then you're going to realize that that's you.
Guys, it's not your aptitude, it is your attitude that determines your altitude. Have an attitude of kindness and generosity. This is Recovery Room, T-Bone.
Minister Sean.
Yes. So it is.
till 3 to see if you would come looking for me, but you did not. So I fell asleep.